Edu-Magicians, welcome to the Edu-Magic Podcast with your host, Dr. Sam Fessich. Dr. Sam is a professor of education, author of Edu-Magic, and a pumpkin spice latte fan. This podcast is designed for pre-service teachers. Remember, friends, teaching doesn't begin at graduation, but during that first class at 8 a.m. Let's get this party started.
Hi, I'm Steve Miletto from the Teaching, Learning, Leading K-12 podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Hello, Edu-Magicians, and welcome back to another episode of the Edu-Magic Podcast. I'm Dr. Sam Fessich, the future teacher coach. In today's episode, we are talking to students out there who have just begun your field work. So this can also be called clinical or short-term placement. So a field placement is an opportunity to work with students at a school for a short period of time. Maybe it's one day a week, or maybe it's a couple hours every day of the week. So it's kind of like a mini student teaching placement. In this field, you might be required to teach lessons, observe, and really learn from that experience. So friends, although you're in a short-term field placement, this does not mean that you can just go through the motions. Take your responsibility seriously because you are working directly with students. You get to impact their lives even if you're there for a short period of time. You are working with kids, and that is an amazing gift. So immerse yourself in this experience. So I have a couple of tips I'm going to share with you to get the most out of your field experience right from the start. And I have to say that this episode was inspired by Katie from JMU KDP chapter. A few nights ago, I did a webinar with them, and she asked one of the questions listed here. I'm like, you know what? I need to do a whole episode on field experiences. So thank you, Katie, for asking the question. And let's jump right into a few tips that I have for field experience students. First question, why do I even need to complete a field experience? Can't I just student teach? Yeah, right? Some of you might be thinking that do I really need to have a field experience? And the answer is, yes, you do. Field work is an absolutely critical component of your education. And by participating in this experience, you're able to develop more as an educator of excellence. And isn't that what we all want, friends? Working within a variety of field placements is really important, especially if you're a teacher who's going to be certified in multiple certification areas from like K to 6 or pre-K to 4 or middle levels or 7 to 12. And getting in those experiences in a variety of placements, a variety of grade levels and subject areas is just going to make you a stronger educator. So first and foremost, do not do a placement because of convenience. And that means location and contact. Get outside of your comfort zone and reach out to schools that you've never been in, but you might be interested in teaching in one day. Don't just contact your neighbor, your friend down the street, or where you went to school. Get in touch with other people that can help you grow as an educator. I know that might be a little hard, so I have a tip for you towards the end for that. So remember, you're going to do a field experience for the learning, not for the convenience. And you're going to get a variety of field experiences. My next question I was asked is, how do I even go about finding a field placement? And friends, this is kind of like an interesting answer because some colleges and universities, they set up your field work for you and then you just go to the school. So check to see if that's the case. If it's not, then again, I'm going to recommend going outside of your comfort zone and contact people outside of your comfort zone. So not just your friend or your neighbor or family member or where you went to school, make contacts outside of that. So you're going to want to contact maybe the principal, or if you're doing a special education placement, maybe the director of special education or the superintendent of a school, and ask to see if they are accepting any field students and really put yourself out there. Remember, don't just go into a placement based on convenience. Instead, choose a placement based on the learning experience. Once you have a placement at a school, and again, it depends on who you contact. You might want to contact administration. That could be a principal or a superintendent or assistant principal. It could also be a special ed director, or maybe you're contacting a teacher personally. So it's really important to send a professional email inquiring about the field placement. And that can be your subject line, field placement inquiry or something like that. And you would say, hello, Mr., Miss, Mrs., Miss, whatever their name is. Put your name there. I am a blank education major. So fill in whatever your major is at blank university. And again, if you head on over to the show notes, friend, this thing is all laid out for you. But add your own sprinkles to make it special just for you. As a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, you choose which one, we're required to obtain hours in the field. This is an exciting part of my learning journey as I get to apply and see what I've been learning in the classroom. I'm emailing to inquire about any opportunities to work with you this semester in your classroom as a part of the field experience. Here are some details about my field placement. And this is where you can pop in those details from your course. Maybe you have to teach a lesson or observe a specialist or interview a principal. That's where you're going to bullet point that list. Include information about when your field placement hours begin and when they end. How many hours you need each week, if that's a thing in your placement. And then you can finish up with, please reach me at, put your cell, or reply to this email. I look forward to hearing from you and possibly working with you. Thank you, and put your signature, sign it as the professional educator that you are. So again, that email might change a little bit depending on who you're sending it to, but you're going to want to have information such as your name, what's your major, what's the purpose of the field experience, what college or university you are attending, and details about your field work. And again, if you head on over to the show notes, it's all right there. This next question is brought to me by Katie at the JMU KDP webinar. And she said, how do I get to know my kids? I'm only there one time a week. And this is a great question. I know it can be tough to get to know your students, even if you're there just one time a week or for a short amount of time. So I have a few strategies. So first, go beyond the field requirements and volunteer in the classroom for more hours, more contact with kids, more lessons, more opportunities to learn, right? That's a great thing. Another thing, greet students as they come in, know what their names are, how to pronounce them, and their pronouns. Before you leave that first day, challenge yourself and quiz yourself. Can you name every student in the classroom and one positive thing or one strength about them? That is a really fun challenge to do. And then also have conversations with students during non-instructional time, like lunch or recess, to really get to know the students better. Remember, even though you're there for a short amount of time, you are making an impact on a child's life. So take that seriously and really get to know and build those relationships with your students in those small moments of conversation as they come in the classroom, as they leave the classroom, doing some check-ins with them. So take that responsibility very seriously, friends. Up next, what can I do to stand out during field work? So I have a little list here. I mean, this is not an all-exhaustive list, and it's not really in any order. It's just as I thought of them. So first, invest time in planning quality content and engaging lessons for your students. Try out different approaches to learning, different pedagogies and methods and strategies that you're learning about in your classes. Try them out in the classroom. See how it goes. Reflect upon it. Keep the communication channels open between yourself and your cooperating teacher. Observe and connect with others in the building. Create an About You field student intro letter for administrators, families, and students. And if you want an example student-teacher letter, I have that linked in the show notes as well. You can check that out. Show up for yourself and your students. So that means getting into a routine and being able to show up for yourself, doing a morning routine, doing an evening routine, and showing up for yourself and so you can invest in your students. Dress professionally. Reflect throughout the process, not only in lesson plans, but reflect upon the process. Ask for specific feedback. Go beyond the requirements of the course and really invest in your learning. Be prompt and timely. Ask questions and engage in professional discussion and jump in. Don't just sit in the back of the room like a creeper. You want to make sure you're jumping in and helping out when and where you can. But again, you don't want to overtake the classroom. So jump in when you can. Have conversations with your cooperating teacher. For example, what are some things I can help you out with today? I'll be in the morning. Can I help lead morning meeting maybe next week? Something like that. And then another question, how do I showcase what I've learned in my digital portfolio? And friends, remember, we don't want to wait till the last minute to create our digital portfolio. And if you're looking for a course on how to create it, go to sfesich.com/courses. There you will find a link to the digital portfolio online course, digital portfolio from scratch to interview ready. So you're going to want to check that out. Anyway, how do you showcase this in your portfolio? So you can create a tab on your portfolio with subpages that showcase various field experiences that you've had throughout your college career. And you can have some from your freshman year, sophomore year, junior or senior year, really build that out, and it'll show a variety of field work. So each of your field experience pages should include something like a brief description about your placement, What did you learn about yourself as a teacher? Lesson plans that are embedded. I said embedded, not uploaded, so nobody can upload or download anything there. Embed them into your page. So if it's a Google Doc, get the embed code, pop it in there so people can just scroll through it. They don't have to download anything. Another important piece about embedding your lesson plans is also include your reflection questions and how you thought everything went, and reflecting pieces there. Pictures of you teaching. And I know that might sound weird, but just ask your co-op when you teach that day, hey, would you mind snapping a quick pic of me while I teach for my digital portfolio? Include in there pictures of projects, materials, or final products that students did as a result of your teaching. These are great things to put, like if you're having kids build something, you can have pictures with their hands building things. And one very important thing when you're using your digital portfolio to showcase your experience, when including pictures of students, have appropriate permissions from families and schools. Don't just post pictures of kids. You have to have appropriate permissions to do so. So if you have pictures of kids in your portfolio and you have those permissions, put a little asterisk that says all photos were obtained with permission. All right, so let's recap. Why do I need to have a field experience? How do I go about finding one? How do I get to know my students even though I'm there for one time a week? What can I do to stand out during field work, and how can I showcase my learning and my digital portfolio? Those are the questions we reviewed. Head on over to the show notes for that email template, links to the digital portfolio course, and all the other goodies from the show. Have a fantastic day. And if you have a field experience this semester, I would love for you to reach out over on Instagram DMs. You can DM me. I'm at sfessich. That's SFECICH. And I would love to hear about your field experience. Remember, friends, you have the EduMagic within you. Bye for now.
And there you have it, EduMagicians. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with your friends. For more EduMagic, check out sfessich.com and follow Dr. Sam on Twitter and Instagram at sfessich. Until next time, you have the EduMagic within you.